I think I started my audio lover career at the twilight of cassette players. I personally never liked cassette players. I think they were a portable necessity of their age, but just could never translate well into the future once newer and greater things arrived. But what brought me to this stage of life was my love of portable CD players. I used to listen to music so much that often I would fall asleep with music still playing on my earphones, and I would just dream music. I loved that I could walk with my favorite CDs and compilations. It was a magic to me. I listened to my own personal mixtapes all the time. Later, I organically just translated to MP3 players, so as they were more convenient, smaller, and easier to access. But I never forgot that feeling of physical media, the booklets, the connections with music like that, and that passion did not disappear, as one of the first reviews on these channels was a turntable and a CD player. And now, figuring out that we live in a small renaissance of CD players and that we have new modern ones with great DACs, a portable CD players also arrived on the horizon. I just wanted to review EC Zero T, which is creating a big waves on this market. But is it just banking on nostalgia? My nostalgia, or is there a place and space on the market for this kind of gear? And how much does it bring the value to this market if it exists? Well, I can confidently say it is a great product, especially this new EC Zero AKM. It is much cheaper than the previous EC Zero T, making it affordable for people who really want something like this but are on the fence about whether they should invest their money in this fad or not. In reality, EC Zero T is a better device, but I will speak about that a little bit later in more details. But as $580 is not something you would invest because it is a retro or nostalgia or whatever. In that price range, you have a really great and decent CD players to buy that offer much more versatility and maybe a tad bit more in quality. But at $300, how much is this new one? This becomes much better value, as this is a great sounding CD player and you can drink coffee or mulled wine on your terrace and just enjoy your great CD collection and read lyrics from the booklet. It is a great feeling and one that does not compromise a lot. So for $300, you get a portable CD player. You can use it as a pure DAC and connect your external player via USB, and you can also rip CDs and get a really great AKM chip while not a top of the line AKM chip. This is still from their 449 lineup of Velvet Sound chipsets, so still very premium and great DAC. It's a nice looking device as well, and you can add line in and line out, so you can connect your active speakers to this as well. And there is also a headphone output, which is presumably the primary way to use this device. At least I use it like that. It is a 836 milliwatts in 32 ohms via balanced connections and 213 via single-ended. But you can use it via battery only, or in a desktop mode, where it will set in a pass-through mode, not damaging the battery. A common problem in this kind of devices, like for example Chord Mojo. So yeah, they even thought about the scenario where you use this purely as a desktop CD player. As this is a switching power supply, you can even add your own more quality linear power supply to this device. It is also a great plus of this device, but I would definitely wish that you get a remote with this product, as anything that does not have a remote and I have to rise from my couch to interact with it breaks the immersion for me. It is not a big fault, as desktop use is not the main thing for this player, but I would love that. And while I'm still on the subject of what I would love, I would love that there is a tracks and songs displayed on the small screen. For example, the screen could be a touch screen and you can swipe left and right to see time remaining and on second swipe to see the names of the songs, etc. While now the screen is useful, it is really small and I could only wish somehow for it to be bigger and better as it's a really small screen. Also, controls to use the CD players are easy and intuitive, but everything else not so much. There is just not enough buttons and navigating through DAC filters, balance, gain level and audio output is really difficult and has a big learning curve. It is equipped with 5500 mAh battery, which in my extended use was giving me healthy 6 to 7 hours of runtime, which is really decent. And not to forget also that this device is equipped with Bluetooth 5.3, which means your portable comfort can even be larger with even fewer wires. Just chill and listen and enjoy your music and life. Something I find amazing and in this day and age is how these portable players are constructed. For example, to have fewer vibrations at the motor and carrying level, you need to have a bit of an advanced mechanism for shielding, anti-static and anti-skating, and of course vibrations. And no matter how much I carried it with me, and I did that a few times, I went to a walk with it, it never showed signs of stutter or jitter, which is an amazing feat that I had to compliment it here. This is a lot of things for this value, so I definitely think this is a killer value product. Even if you're part of the nostalgia desired market or not, this is just a good product. But how does this product even sound? Is it good purely as a sonic product? I can easily say yes. But I have to mention that most of my testings was done via headphones. I also use it as a desktop CD player, but I realized that this case is not for many people how are going to use it, and even for me, I don't see in future me using it like that. This is an AKM sound through and through, and I used 3 types of headphones and EMEs to test them. I chose to go with a bit darker, with a more balanced and with the bright speakers just to see how they react to this CD player. There have not been any additional DACs or additional linear supplies in the mix, just pure sound out of the box. The sound is energetic and upbeat. There's an obvious emphasis on details at the top to push your earphones further. It is made to give a more agile presentation, which means your upper mids and treble are going to be specifically detailed. You can definitely notice more percussions and how they separate, and even like synth, clavi, moog. When it goes to that upper registry, you see how it just pops out. So yeah, these are insightful players, and that is a good for also vertical soundstage, as it truly will help your headphones, if they are talented in doing so, to open more soundstage. It is a natural soundstage expansion and that will help your headphones a lot. But also, it is not like that much of a V-curved sound like I expected with some AKMs. Note that the presentation is very expressive and entertaining, which means balance and tonality are not going to be present that day in the listening room. There is a sensation of directness and positivity to the way this player delivers music, a sensation of engagement that some similarly praised alternatives forgo in an effort to sound somehow more accurate. But the biggest surprise to me is the bass. Bass, while not being the super warm, like this will not create like a warm sounding bass, but the bass had attack, bass had reach, it had presence. There was a cohesion in it which I did not expect. Just a great kick, great drive, great momentum created by this bass. And this is not the warm aspect of sound. This bass is a very contained, some might even say lean, but that precise, detailed and great attack is definitely something which complements the sound so much. There's a great cohesion between the elements of how it helps your headphones to sound. Soundstage is great, but think about it for a second. There is a lot of details and textures. You can visualize it in your head, the placements of instruments on stage. It helps for soundstage perception to expand, and with the great open back headphones, the soundstage is really good. But it will be your headphones which are going to dictate this more than this CD player. It will open them vertically, but this is not a soundstage which will be groundbreaking or something to completely open your eyes what it has done with your headphones. Like, wow, my headphones never sounded open like this. No, this is just a very good, very decent soundstage. Midsection also is a decent, but this is a very upbeat, energetic presentation. Don't expect vocals to lead the fray, or to have smooth vocal deliveries or a lot of transparency and space. They have a decent midsection, which was a surprise. It has enough space and transparency to help headphones. But they are juggling this energetic treble and bass, and it trails behind both of them. It just does not have enough breadth and room for that amazing midsection like some people expect. Nor will the vocal sound that amazing. It is just how it does, and it's your headphones. If they are clear, if they're balanced, they're gonna work fine with this. This all should be taken with a certain grain of salt. This is a player, and as a player, it is always a conductor and someone who prepares a raw material for your headphones. It is your headphones that are going to be the ones driving the sound mostly. But will some strengths or faults be even more exemplified is what the CD player does. So think about how you pair this device to get the best sonic signature possible with that synergy. I could recommend, I think the best are a little bit balanced headphones, or those headphones that are a bit warm. So not like super warm headphones or not super bright headphones, but rather balanced or balanced with a hint of warmth in them. I had the great pleasure at CES 2025 to listen to a large variety of devices. Among them were FiiO Dm13, the Moondrop Discdream 2 and Discdream 2 Ultra, and EC Zero T with R2R DAC. While not in ideal conditions, there was a lot of things I could right away pick up and compare. One more note, I had previous experience with EC Zero T that my friend owned, so I have a little bit more experience there. I want to start with FiiO Dm13, as I think if you're on the fence, you're not certain if this like portable thing is for you or not, Dm13 is an amazing value device. It comes for only $180. And as such, it is really hard not to try your luck with this kind of devices. One thing I realized is that FiiO can easily be a competitor to EC Zero T, the R2R one. And I know that sounds strange and unlikely, but there is a companion piece to this, a DAC called K13R2R, which can ideally stack onto each other. They are sort of like made to be stacked upon each other. And you get a superb R2R DAC with this portable CD player. And together they cost almost the same as EC Zero T R2R. But how about solo as a device? How does it compare to EC Zero AKM? Well, it is a $120 or $140 cheaper. It costs around $180, so it has a weaker but really decent DAC. It has a much weaker headphone output and has a fewer inputs and outputs. But its sound is really decent, and in this price range of $180, you get a good CD player with a good DAC. Honestly, I don't know even desktop CD players in this price range that are this good. I will talk more about it as probably I'm going to buy it really soon and review it, but trust me, it is worth the money. even though AC Zero is a more capable device with a better sound, better DAC, etc. But how about the more expensive EC Zero T? Well, this device looks identical, but in reality they are completely different devices. EC Zero T has an R2R DAC, and for headphones output it can even use tubes. This is a really unique combination that gives an extra interesting flair to this portable device. It has a little bit less output if you use tubes, but if you use their solid state amp, it has 1280 milliwatts in 32 ohms, which is more than an AKM version. But battery size and inputs and outputs are the same, and yet the sound is completely different. I cannot emphasize enough that even though they look alike, how different they sound. R2R is a very rich in presentation, but also a very much balanced device. It is a very lush sound, with little bit emphasis on warmth, even though it tries to remain in a realm of balance as much as it can. Personally, I prefer a lot of tubes as an output. It gives this lush neutral sound a bit of weight and darkness, which makes the sound more pulsing and galloping and fun. It is a wonderful cocktail of sounds, but I can also see that the AKM variation can be more for some people, as this is a pretty detailed and upbeat presentation and a little bit more punchy. It has a more revealing sound. But reality is that the Zero T is a more cohesive and more musical sound. It is more open and has a better midsection and a great vocal reproduction. Now, is that worth $260 more? Well, that is all on you, but it is a superb device. I had a great time at SMSL booth at SIAS, and I had time reserved at their listening area, completely separated from crowds. And there they had 2 and 2 Ultra to listen among many other gear. Now, Moondrop Discdream 2 is my favorite design out of all, but I will focus on Discdream 2 Ultra here. Firstly, it is a much sturdier box and feels like it's built from better materials. It feels like it will last for a long time, but also it definitely, to me, looks like a more better build than AC Zero AKM or AC Zero T, but also it is a heavier box. In reality, it's not that much of a difference. It's around 125 grams, but when I was carrying it, it felt for some reason even more heavier. But to cut to things that matter, they're similarly priced, so they are going to head with each other. And in my experience, I just like the AC Zero AKM more. It has a stronger headphone output, it has a far more inputs and outputs, and I think the DAC is just little bit more capable. Discdream 2 Ultra sounds great also, and if you really dislike the sonic signature of AC Zero AKM, the more balanced and laid-back approach of Discdream 2 Ultra definitely allows a more clinical, transparent approach. It gives more space around the instruments to breathe and even more space on a soundstage. But it is just not so fun or entertaining, even though vocal reproduction is really nice. It's very spacious and there is a lot of room in between. So I would definitely recommend listening to both, as they are similarly priced, and you might enjoy one more than other. It's honestly just a personal preference. I am happy like a child with this device. Ever since I got it, I have been listening to it to non-stop, reviving my childhood nostalgia with it. I just love this device, and for me, it's worth every penny. But will that be for you? Well, unless an abundance of inputs and outputs you search, you get a lot with this device. Good laser, great DAC, great portability with lots of different use cases. It is a great detailed sound. It is a very punchy, energetic and forward. So you get a lot of this for $320. I think this is not in any way connected with nostalgia or retro vibes or etc. This is a great quality device which has a lot to offer in this price range. I think this is not in any way connected with nostalgia or retro vibes, etc. This is a great quality device which has a lot to offer in this price range. Just try this and spin your favorite CDs. You will enjoy it. Carry this with you on breaks, on travels, in park, or while you wait for your kids to arrive from school. It is a great alternative for your DAB, which is still the best portable choice as it's much lighter and smaller, and it can decode much larger 24-bit files or DSDs. But also, I think CDs are easier to find and buy than like 24-bit audio or DSDs. And there are not many DSDs in the world, to be honest, but you can use this also as a USB DAC hub to play 24-bit and DSDs via external player. It's also an additional alternative for flexibility. Yes, in reality, a lot of the music I listen exists in 24-bit, but only on streaming platforms and nowhere else, and it just doesn't exist on DSDs. So there's a lot of my own personal music come from CDs that I listen, and I find this more easier way to find music, to buy and interact with it. It's just my opinion, of course. But as an interaction, just insert disc. It is a really fast and intuitive way of listening to music, and disc sounds just awesome. The connection you get with them is priceless, and everything feels more in tune with you and the music you love. Fewer obstacles between you and the music you love. In conclusion, I really do love portable CDs. Thanks for watching, and if you like this content, please consider liking and subscribing. Keep daydreaming and see you on the next video. Bye!